greatest adventure, one which man has ever embarked. Thank you.
Lord Sun Dragon, you haven't came out of your cave in centuries.
No, Lord.
Our intro really matters. But coming to you live, one of us from an underground bunker with Hillary Clinton and an alien. One of the Mercury brothers. And we have the two Matthews with us. Let's start the show, everybody.
Let's do it.
The Mercury brothers.
The show where everything matters and nothing matters.
Just to give you guys a little rundown. Basically, these are like the two of the most kind-hearted people that are connected to the Earth, and they are more awake about the reality of our waking life than most people that I know. So, with that being said, Matthew Rodas came to our place of work, and he was actually a hand-me-down from another manager who said, "I don't want him. He's got to drive too far to work. He's never going to get here on time." Brooks, how did it go?
You want to take this guy, man, because he's not going to last. He's going to drive from way too far. I don't want it.
Okay, so he gave me him as a hand-me-down, and then this will literally ended up beating like all the records at my company, the best new salesman ever. He sold $10,000 a week while he's microdosing shrooms. This is the dude who woke me up. But anyway, without further ado, I give you Matthew Rodas. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much.
Love what you guys are doing, and I'm merely just a reflection of you guys here.
I didn't know nothing about any of this stuff. He totally woke me up to all this. But when we were at our former employer, I had him and two other employees. They're all like brothers, and they are all number 33s, which is amazing because it's the master teacher.
What's also interesting about that is that all three of those guys who are master number 33s and like master teachers, they didn't come there like, oh no, I'm going to learn you something. They came there and digested what you had to teach them and just flourished with it and ran with it.
We did things that will literally never, ever, ever be done again, guys. And Matthew Rodas sold $10,000 as a new employee, and the average new employee sells $1,200 in that same amount of time.
And I think it really came down from Banks and Brooks being really good mentors to me at the job that we were all at.
Let's how that was when you were on the just microdosing, maybe a little too much.
At that moment when I was at ACE, I was going through a healing process, healing a lot of old traumas from growing up. And I think microdosal, what I was doing, I don't know if you guys realized or Brooks realized, I was actually taking big doses in my room. So sometimes I would just go quiet and I was literally tripping out.
You said, Banks, I saw 3 sales ahead. Can you explain that at all? What you mean by that?
Not just mushrooms, I was also microdosing acid.
That'll do.
And there would be these scenarios where I'd be on the phone, and it's almost like I can be present in the moment of time where if I make this move, this outcome would happen. If I did this move, this outcome would happen. If I just even felt like this outcome would happen. For example, they say that the 5th dimension is where time and space don't exist. It's the place where you go when you experience deja vu. So when people say, I've seen this before, it's because everything's already happened and you're now just you let go of the 3rd dimension and you're seeing everything from the grand perspective. And then you're coming back to re-experience it. In my experience.
Okay,
that reality moves like Matt said, it moves a lot faster. So the oldest hallucinogenic in the world is San Pedro. Or they also call it Wachuma. And when you're doing high doses of this medicine, they say it's the way you can see your past, your present, and your future at the same time through your whole lineage.
So that's the interdimensional?
So that's, the interdimensional, yeah.
Wow.
And when you're in that place, you can see your ancestry, and it's the only time you can see where you're going to go. It's the only plant in the world that as you splice and do genetic mutations to keep it going, it gets stronger. Some of the cacti, they say, are over 10,000 years old.
What? So have you ever done it?
I've done small doses.
I'm actually interested in doing microdosing San Pedro.
You
So
know what
cool.
San Pedro is? You've heard of it before?
Yeah, it's also similar to peyote.
Yeah, okay. All those old
Go for it.
civilizations and tribes all talk about that and are big on ancestry and their forefathers and what happens to them and how they're a part of that. That's really interesting.
especially plant medicine, you can
Survive
you can
for
go
longer.
days with just basic water. You don't need food.
Interesting.
I took a large dose of LSD, and it lasted probably about 4 or 5 days.
Holy shit!
And so I didn't sleep.
Was that rough?
I don't think I ate. I just was drinking. It was interesting. I became all knowledgeable like God at one point.
Yeah, wow.
I could see photographic memory of my parents when they were children, of things in the future.
Can I touch on that real quick? Because I saw a thing on TikTok where like this fool was talking. This guy was so smoked out, but he was talking about doing enough DMT to where he lived the life as far as he's concerned, like, and lived the life for 30 years, got hit by a truck, and then woke up coming out of the DMT thing, and like literally like missed a family that like didn't exist. Do you guys have any opinions about that?
Whoa.
I mean, it's possible, right? Look, if he experienced it, I'm the kind of
Definitely.
I'm new to all this stuff, right? I mean, I've never done LSD, I've never done peyote, I've done shrooms like a handful of times, I did DMT one time. It's like it's the only way that it can all work is that like if you are having an experience, whether you're mentally ill on a drug, it exists somewhere because you are experiencing it. That's kind of my feeling about
You guys would trip out on this. I was living with a roommate, and I woke up from this dream, and I told my roommate, I said, I had the weirdest dream right now. I was dreaming that we were playing miniature golf somewhere, and I was telling this to my roommate. You were in it was a huge cement goldfish, and its mouth was open, and you are playing miniature golf inside of the goldfish's body. So the goldfish's mouth was open like this, and he was inside of it, okay? And you were walking toward me, and you were smiling, and that's all I remember. It was in a huge goldfish.
Okay.
Months later, we went to Lake Tahoe on a vacation.
The first time you ever went to Lake Tahoe? You've never been to Lake Tahoe before?
First time I ever went to Lake Tahoe. There was nothing to do, and we're like, let's go miniature golfing. We go to the next hole. I'm not paying attention. I sit on a bench. I'm smoking a bowl, and I look up, and it is the exact replica of my dream. He is inside a giant goldfish with its mouth open, and he turned around walking toward me smiling. And I was like, oh my God, do you remember the dream that I told you that I had? And he was like, he completely, he remembered it, and he was just like, dude, what does this mean? And I don't know what it means, but ever since then, my whole perception on reality and time, I'm open to anything.
It's a trip, dude.
It's always blown my mind.
I want to hear.
Yeah.
I want to hear Matthew Rodis' opinion on this.
I feel like when we go to sleep, there's only so much we can access for whatever reason. I feel like there's something blocking us all from truly being able to just close our eyes and being there and just opening, as simple as opening it up. Whatever it takes, we might have to, in the moment, I guess, as humans, we have to go to sleep and go through this whole chemical process. But I believe we're on a journey of being able to actually consciously do it whenever we want. Close our eyes, go there, come back, access whatever information we need to create whatever dream we want to create, because this is a living dream. This is a waking dream that we're in, just perceived in a linear time.
I think it's a way for people in the past and at other times to make sense of to make sense of what they're experiencing and feeling, and different tools. It's a tool to use to maybe like share that with others.
I like that. I like what you're saying, and it's interesting because you're a life path number 11. It's a master number 11, and one of the first descriptions for that is it says that they have visions and very good intuition. The other day, Brooks came up. I called Brooks and I was like, "Yo, I had a really weird dream," and he goes, "About your ex and she had a baby," and I was like, "What? Did I already tell you about this?" And he goes, "No, I had you said I had a vision that you were going to come talk to me about this dream." What did you mean a vision? Were you doing some meditation or were you doing Tai Chi or what? Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of times after I do a lot of like Tai Chi and stuff like that, like meditation in motion, and it's a little different than just seated or laying down meditation. It's like, you're moving, and I'm not necessarily trying to meditate or think about anything. It's just something that makes me feel good. But a lot of times, either during or shortly after, I'll have realizations and visions. Sometimes when I smoke marijuana, and it happened to me a lot of my
Marijuana.
Listen,
marijuana.
Marijuana is bad.
Sorry.
when I intake THC, a lot of times I will hear
You're not right.
voices in my head, and
Really?
I'm not talking. Yeah, and I'm not talking about like voices like someone's talking to me and telling me what to do.
Kill the president.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
it's not stuff like that. I'll hear just like certain like phrases and realizations, and like it's my own thoughts.
I believe I've heard a voice which is good. I believe source, God, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's my altered subconscious, but you hear your voice in your head. It sounded different.
Yes.
Different tone.
It's never anything sinister or dark or anything. It's always positive.
Positive, yeah.
It's always good.
I don't know
stuff.
if I'm just going to say this, and if I edit it out later or whatever, but I mean, I'm just going to say it. When I was going through all my trauma, and I was in the deepest, darkest place of my life, not on drugs, thought, I mean, it's real as I'm talking to you guys, that I fucking heard the radio of a fucking plane flying overhead. Like, and I was like, what the fuck? And like, it was like, I'm hearing that right now. And it was like, and it got like lower and lower. Like the further it got away, like I heard like less of it. And like, I thought, what the fuck is that? And then now that I've gotten into all this stuff, learning about vibrations and frequencies, it's totally fucking possible. Now, they also say the only difference between having
wearing aluminum.
Yes,
Are you wearing aluminum
that's where,
foil on your head?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I got that. So, I mean, look, I was not in a good state of mind, that's for sure. They say that the only difference between having an awakening and having a psychotic episode is the outcome. So,
Both Matt and Matt, you guys have both experienced some kind of astral projection, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Matt Rodas?
I've had 2 experiences that I can remember.
Okay. Well, a lot of stuff that I've read and like training that I've had, and it's more in like Eastern philosophy, meditation stuff that I've experienced like through like Tai Chi and Kung Fu and stuff like that. But a lot of them talk about how one of the reasons why these monks would perform these martial arts, it wasn't just to protect themselves from physical assaults, but also from psychological assaults, or like your own inner demons or what have you. And a lot of them talk about how you want to have a good foundation. And when I say good, I mean like morally good, but also know what you're doing, because they talk about how to be careful about opening your either astral projecting to a place that you don't want to be, and you go to a dimension or a place that's like maybe bad or open to bad stuff, but also to be careful about like letting certain entities into yourself. And I've always thought about things about people being possessed by demons, or when people, go psychologically crazy or have psychotic episodes. I always think to myself, are those just people who are on a higher frequency and a higher vibration, but maybe either don't know how to control it or are just not stable with certain things, and that's why it's perceived that way by everybody else? It could be like exactly the same as someone who's experiencing the same thing, but in a good way. Sometimes if you see a crazy person, I think to myself, oh, like maybe they're not crazy. They just like,
they're just
open themselves up to a bad demon or what have you, or a bad entity, or just not knowing how to control themselves and like lost control somehow. It's not something as simple as there's something wrong with their brain.
To touch on that, I have I've had experiences. So I have some like friends that have schizophrenia, And in my experience, there are different energy centers in the body. Some of the Eastern would call it your Kundalini or the chakras, but it's literally just the flow of energy circulating in the body. And within these different energy centers, it's almost like there's a world in each one of them, and there's energy blocks in whatever energy center. For example, in your solar plexus, it's where a lot of people experience fear or anything that has to do with their intuition. So when people either see or experience like thought form entities, demons, me personally, in my personal experience, is more of an energy within yourself, like your own energy that's trying to work through whatever that is.
Yeah.
And before you can hit the next level, you need to work through that. So solar plexus, you work whatever that is out. That energy can also manifest in your life as the lesson that you need to learn. And until you can free yourself from that energy, it'll cycle up to the next and the next. And then it almost like it restarts, and you're like almost like leveling up every single time until you've completely have a free flowing energy in your body. Let's just say, I'm trying to keep it layman's terms, so we don't get too woo woo.
Your chakras.
Yeah.
Well, go woo woo. I mean, we can always edit it out. I'm interested in what you're having to say here.
Right. But overall, it's like, we're here to work these lessons out, work these energies out. The ones that are going back to the astral projection stuff is just another perception of being able to see these other worlds, being able to perceive. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Matt, when you astral projected, were you on any sort of substance?
So the first time I astral projected, I was 13 years old. I was literally walking in the hallway. I walked into my parents' room, and for some reason, I was just looking for money so I can buy weed. And
Hoodlum.
I've never been never looked in this particular place, but I went into this drawer and I picked up these clothes and found money in my mom's pants. And right when I woke up, I'm like, okay, I thought that it felt real. So I woke up, I went right into the drawer, never been there before, and I literally found money right there.
Wow.
So that was my first experience of what you would call an astral projection.
So you were high on marijuana.
I was not high on marijuana. I was trying to get high on it.
I know, right?
That was the inspiration.
All right.
Second time, I was doing some medicine work with a mentor of mine in Encinitas. He didn't tell me exactly what he gave me, but it was some kind of psychedelic type of experience where I had a blindfold on. I think the one that I had you wear, Banks. I was able to open my eyes with a blacked out blindfold, and I was able to clearly see the room. But it was more of a fuzzy color, and I was in a dream. However, I was completely awake, and I was able to look left, look right, look down, and I can see the people in the room. Wow. So for the first time ever, I wondered, is this what the frequency of astral projection? And how do we, like I said before, how do we consciously get there without having to take these things or having to go to sleep? It's really just to not be so dense in our vibration. And vibration is a very broad word because it sounds very hippie.
Well, they say that a lot of reasons why people and ancient civilizations or shamans or what have you would administer that is more to open your mind for the rest of your life afterwards, for you to get a glimpse of it. Okay, you can't necessarily do it on your own right now because you don't have the training or the knowledge or whatever. So this will force you into it and force you to see it. So then afterward, and that's why everyone always says it changed their life in the way that they perceived reality afterward.
Well, that's the thing.
Definitely.
You keep going into. When you keep going into these higher dimensions, I saw a funny meme about it. It was they telling you stop doing it. The whole point we're teaching you these lessons is so you don't have to keep taking this medicine to integrate that knowledge into your life, and you can release these endorphins and serotonin and dopamine and all of these things naturally
I've never seen an episode of Intervention where they had to do an intervention on someone because they were addicted to shrooms, or because they were taking LSD, or because they were taking DMT or ayahuasca. Modern society labels them as drugs, but it's not the same as recreational drug use that is plaguing.
What is a drug in medicine? It's just a terminology.
It's just a terminology.
Yeah.
Just like karma is like, you can look at karma of like a mystical thing or just like a word. It's just cause and effect. And like, it's bouncing off that a little bit. Like, you know, I've had like more realizations. I did DMT like 18 months ago. Like, I still have realizations that come to me all the time. And I'm just so grateful for Matthew Rodas. He always like mysteriously like point me in the right direction. I mean, like, I didn't really know about like numerology and like life paths and stuff, which is something that, I mean, in the audience, like, y'all should really look this stuff up. It's like really cool. And it's just kind of, for me, it gave me direction and made me kind of understand other people a little bit more. But yeah, when I was like at a point where I don't even know why I asked Matt, but I asked him, I was like, hey, I want to get a tattoo. Why do you have that 33 tattooed on you again? And then he told me like, oh, that's like my life path number. He was like, when's your birthday? And he's like, you're a 12. I've had some crazy, and Brooks has seen it too. That one day, Brooks, when I was like freaking out and it was like everything that I was seeing was 11s and 12, 11, 12, 11, 12, 11, 12. And it was Brooks is an 11 and I was a 12. And we were like talking about making this podcast. We were literally like, it was like day one of like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to like start setting stuff up. And then Brooks showed me a thing where he's like, well, let's watch this podcast that I really like. And Brooks, take it from there. What happened?
So we started the podcast. They said, yeah, welcome to channel 11. And then they said, we have a new starting time. And my brother said, let me guess, 12. And then they said at 12 noon, right after that, right after we talked about 11 and 12s.
I believe once you're aware of these synchronicities and you pay attention for them, you'll keep seeing them.
Well, yeah. And I think that there's some like normal shit about that too. Like when you go shopping for a car, all of a sudden you start seeing it everywhere. So like, that's why like I talked about this on last week's episode, and we did a little bit of kind of like trying to help, the viewers of like understand how to do a manifestation. And I'm on a freaking hot streak right now. Like, you're rewriting the program like right in front of you. I've helped somebody manifest $1,700 that they lost in their bank, so they couldn't get it back. I've helped people. I mean, just like, whenever anybody out there, like you have you're like thinking about somebody and like they text you, like that's a manifestation, like straight up. It's a law of attraction. And like, to touch on that just a little bit more, and we'll probably wrap it up here in a little bit, but like I've said before in the show that with the law of attraction, there's no, it's not yes, I want and no, I don't want. It's yes, I want and yes, I don't want. But that's even more confusing. What it really is it's all yes. You got to think of it like that. It's all yes. So whatever energy you're putting out, we are vibration, we are frequency, we're being held together by electricity, basically, right? So like, our emotions, then it's already been proven, can change our state of mind, and then that's going to change. I'm right now talking about it, I'm getting like a nervous feeling. It's like tingly all through my body and stuff. Like, that's because like I'm metaphysically like changing, dog. Like, this is going through me, right? So like, when we're talking about manifestation stuff, when you are in the moment of having that thought, you can literally make your inner world become your outer world. I have a feeling I'm putting it out. All the universe is doing, because the universe isn't like a god on a throne that's like, oh, you're starving, here's some food, or oh, you're poor, you need something to cheer you up and give you some money, or you're depressed, well, let's put on the Flintstones and get you happy. No, it's like the energy of the universe is just like, energy, more, here you go. Pretty much, I mean, it's just like it's attracting the same energy that you're putting out. So like, I'm a people pleaser, something I'm trying to work on. Okay, I admit it. Now, what happens when you're a people pleaser is you like to help people. It feels good. When in reality, all I'm doing by being a people pleaser and helping people is getting more people to help. I'm not getting anything good, right. Really. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just getting more people to help. Now, if that's what I'm passionate about, sure. But like, it's gotten me into a lot of trouble too.
Yeah, the more you give, the more you receive. And like, they say, the more you give, the more you empty your vessel to receive God's knowledge or source, whatever you believe in.
Well, like, I believe in like, the cause and effect thing, right? So it's like, and I tied in with manifestation like this, that like, if someone is doing bad things, they're probably going to be paranoid about retaliation against them, which is why those things manifest.
It's intention.
Yeah.
Why is there intention? Yeah. Intention is everything. I truly believe that.
Yeah.
Why are you doing, what's your ethos? Why are you doing this for somebody? Or if you do anything with any kind of action or thought or anything with expecting something in return from somebody else, especially when dealing with individuals, you're doing a business.
Doing business.
But if you can just do it pure-heartedly with pure intention, and you're just doing it because you want to help that person, that's love.
Hey, we plant seeds on this show. For every viewer, we plant a seed of marijuana. And Brooks smokes it. Hey, everybody. Seriously, thank you for watching our show again. We hope you enjoyed it. From the two Matts and the two brothers from Brooks in Thailand. We want to thank y'all for joining the Mercury Brothers, where everything matters and
We're going to climb the
nothing matters.
and the moon and the
Hey,
planets.
all right, y'all. Peace.
And new hopes for knowledge and peace are there. And therefore, as we set sail,
I gotta go pick up my girlfriend, so I can't do it right now. I can't do the podcast right now because I'm driving my car. I'm gonna go pick up my girlfriend. She just got her nails did.